The client's name was Jim. We started off pretty strong. We had a good connection. I felt like there was a lot of trust. And I pointed out, as I do with every single one of my clients in our first session, that around month 3 or 4, things will probably start to get a little uncomfortable. It's not as much programming from my side of like, hey, this is where we're going. Now you're having to come in with things that we can work on. But there's also a lot more experimentation. So there's a lot more failure or mistakes or things that just didn't go the way you wanted. If people don't like the failure word. And sure enough, I could see that there was a couple of setbacks that were making them uncomfortable. They had moved a few meetings around with me. So instead of our normal every other week timing, it was now becoming every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks kind of thing. And it just kind of moved around. And then they missed one and there was no communication and they weren't answering emails. I was like, okay, what's happening? Eventually, I had to reach out to the sponsor and terminate that aspect because they're paying me. So I'm like, hey, this person hasn't shown up. They're not answering emails. They got involved. They tried to get them to answer an email. And in the end, while they loved the conversation, it was, they weren't ready to do the work. Is really what it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there was a lot going on in their life. There was a ton of things happening that were not work related. And it made it difficult for them to focus on trying to take these steps and be better at their work, look at those objectives. And look, I'm happy to take a look and say, like, how can we help with this aspect in life? We're not two different people. We don't exist as a work person and as a non-work person. We're one person. We can put on a little bit of a mask at work, but at the same time, if something's going on in life, we have to balance these things out. So I was willing to work with them, but in the end, they just needed to focus on the things that were going on in life.